Hi guys! Today's video is going to be a book review of The Casual Vacancy by J.K. Rowling, and I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and I am going to tell you some of my thoughts on it. So, we start off in the little town of Pagford, and Very Fairbrother is kind of what we think is going to be the main character, and he dies like 3 pages in. It's not really a spoiler, because how can you spoil something that happens like 3 pages in? So he dies, and basically the rest of the novel revolves around how that town is affected by his death, how it was affected by his life, and how people are going to pick up the pieces and deal with their own issues now that he's gone. So, this was definitely a good book, but I can't say that I enjoyed reading it or necessarily liked it, because it was a struggle to get through some of the parts, and there's a lot of negative and very adult themes in this book that make it challenging and triggering and kind of, really dark. So I feel a little conflicted about how I feel about it. And there's some really great writing, like J.K. Rowling obviously wrote Harry Potter, and that's a big part of my childhood, rereading those books and watching the movies and everything. And it's great to see a new book from her. And it's, it's cool that she's writing in a different genre, and now she's writing for adults. But at times I think she kind of pushed the envelope a little bit too far, and she's just like, oh, I'm going to throw a used condom in here, or some dirty needles, or something. And, I don't know if some of the imagery was necessarily necessary. If you know what I mean. Maybe that's just, well, it can be just my opinion, because this is my video, and these are my thoughts. So, one of the things that I've seen, like, in reviews and videos, is, first of all, that people are not expecting an adult novel from her, and they think it's going to be exactly like Harry Potter. And no, that's not what's going on here. And the second thing that I've seen a lot is The Casual Vacancy being compared to a Dickens novel. And no offense to J.K. Rowling, but I think that is insulting to Charles Dickens. I might be a little biased, but Dickens is my favorite author, so when you're going to compare a modern author to somebody that was writing in the 1800s, I don't understand. They're completely different things, so why would you compare them? While I admit that there are some elements that are similar, like kind of a big picture story, focusing on, a town or a city that also has a lot of moving parts and lots of characters and some, some negative and dark traits about the characters. I mean, that's about all of the similarities I can see. But when you're looking at a Dickens novel, the characters are so much more developed. They have character traits and a way of speaking and mannerisms and dress and everything that made them unique, to where, I can remember one of Dickens's characters like 4 or 5 years later on, but I won't probably remember any of the character's name from this book necessarily. And the scenery has so much more to do with the story in a Dickens novel, it's almost another character that's like ever present and kind of sets the mood for the chapter. There's so much more like comment on, you know, political background, and like this has political stuff in it, but it doesn't seem like a commentary on how things are running. And I don't know, overall there are lots of dark things about the way that Dickens portrays the world, but at the end of the books you always come away with a sense that, you know, love conquers all, and that things are going to be alright because there are like one or two good characters that can make it through despite all of these evil forces happening to them, which is kind of seems like Harry Potter, like, doesn't that? But this book doesn't feel like that at all. It just, to me, spoiler, it felt like she had built up this whole world with all of these different characters that were kind of flat and negative and didn't have any redeeming qualities. I wasn't rooting for them at all. And then in the last like 50 to 100 pages, the whole thing just came crashing down. It almost seemed to me like an experiment in how can I build up and build up and build up this world and then destroy it right at the very end and have a lot of people die and, you know, have every single horrible thing happen to these people, and then that's the ending. So I didn't come away with it with any like thematic elements or memorable, like, you know, lessons, or, you know, why would you just end it like that? I mean, I don't know. So that's why it aggravates me when she's being compared to Dickens, because you don't mess with Dickens. Not when I'm in town. Nope. And the third thing that I wanted to say about this book, because I can't really say much about it without spoiling it. So if you do want to talk about the book with me, I'd be more than happy to. You can message me in any way that you want to get in contact with me, and we can have a more in-depth discussion, but I don't want to have a lot of spoilers in a video. So the last thing I wanted to say was that I think that there should be like a trigger warning inside of the book jacket, you know, like, because there are a lot of challenging and triggering events in this book that are very, very graphic, and depending on who you are and where you come from, can really, you know, mess you up and bring back a lot of memories. I mean, that's what triggering is all about. So, you know, kind of how, like on CD jackets, how they have a parental advisory, or, you know, if you're watching Dr. Phil or something, it says, you know, due to the graphic nature of this show, blah, 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 blah. I would have liked some warning, you know. And I was talking to Mel on Twitter about this, and we think that there should be like a little sticker right here that says like, hey, you know, if you have gone through any number of these traumatic events, this story might be triggering for you, and we want to be sensitive to that and not freak you out. And yeah, I mean, because everybody reads the book jacket anyway, and I thought that was a good idea. You can tell me your thoughts too, but spoiler alert, the thing that triggered me was the fact that one of the characters very, very graphically cut herself. And that is something that I've dealt with, and so when I read that part, I kind of broke into tears and was very triggered. There are also like rape scenes, drug use, domestic violence, child abuse, any number of things, any number of elements that can really mess you up. So if you are watching this video, you've been warned. So maybe we don't need to have that warning on the book jacket. Everybody just watch this video. There you go. That'll do it. So I guess that kind of gets me thinking about my own novel that I want to write, because my novel has a lot of dark elements, because I've been through some stuff, and I want to share that with people in a way that teaches people and exposes people to some things that they might not understand, or that they might have gone through. And I want somebody to read my book, understand that there's some dark things, but ultimately, like any Dickens novel, to come to the conclusion that things are going to be okay as long as there are good people in the world, and as long as there is love and compassion and acceptance, and we can all just get along. So I do appreciate that there are dark elements in this book. I did think it was a good book, but I just didn't come away with anything super special or like a good lesson. Like, I can't really say I learned this because of this book. So I don't know. I guess I kind of, as the days go on that I have since finishing this book, my opinion of it has kind of deflated. So right when I was finishing it, I was like, wow, this is a really good book. Whoa, 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 what is happening? Oh my gosh. And then it's all settled, and now it's maybe even a 3. Maybe I should change my Goodreads star review. I don't know. You guys, I don't want to be making bad book reviews. This is not a bad book. Maybe it's something about me that I just can't find the good in any book, except for Dickens. So, anyways, I will end this now because I really don't know what I'm talking about. So, I hope you have an awesome night. I will talk to you later.